Hey, welcome back to the Melbourne Strength Culture Podcast. We have a very special edition today. This is episode number 11, and we've branched out to a new area of guest, pro athletes. And we have the Weetbix kid, Tom Wilson here, who is currently on Collingwood's list and an AFL footballer, and a previous history of some professional basketball in there as well, and just a cool story. So thank you very much for joining us, Tom.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah,
no worries. And also a keen listener of the potty.
I'm a keen listener, so not sure Christian's the guy you want to come on after. He set the record,
he
so
did.
Got a bit of hype to live up to there, but we'll see what we can do.
I don't know. I reckon we'll do all right.
Hopefully the Collingwood faithful come through.
Yeah. So you were just asking then that, just making sure that the crotch shots are all right, and you threw Didier straight under the bus.
He's aware of the in-jokes. He's been watching.
It is. I love the banter that goes on in this show. So yeah,
we appreciate it. And Tom also gets around it with some comments and shit and some story replies. So we're like, fuck it, let's get him on. Let's go for it. So obviously, thank you for coming on. It does mean a lot, and it is a new area for us in the podcast. So we're pretty excited for it, and hopefully it can open some new avenues into pro sport. But before we go anywhere, let's talk. I think maybe we'll start with your sort of like junior, and obviously we know it, but you came up through basketball more than anything, I'm assuming, because you were on the Boomers squad at one point, correct?
Yep. A couple years ago, there. So
So when did you start at really pushing your basketball forward and coming through the ranks there?
Sort of just picked up basketball because my older brother Jack, who you guys
big Thor.
Apparently we knew.
Down
at Hammer House back in the day.
So Charlie and I didn't know this at the time, but we were actually training with Thor.
Yeah, with Hathor.
He big boy.
Not Hathor. No, we're talking about Thor, like the Marvel Thor.
The Marvel Thor, lightning. Yeah. 6'4" Adonis of a man.
Yeah, big beard's gone now.
Yep.
Shaved it off for the bushfires, which is pretty cool.
Oh, nice. Charities. Very nice.
But so pretty much just picked it up. Wanted to do everything he did growing up. So I just followed along. And then, sort of just, I guess for the people that know basketball, just made my first rep team down at Sanitarium. Then sort of ended up moving across to the Melbourne Tigers. And then, made my first state team under 16, just like sort of the first state team you can make. And then, from there, I was pretty lucky. Never missed a state team again. Played under 18s, bottom age, top age, and both years under 20s. And then, made a couple of Australian teams, which was awesome. Played the under 17 World Championships and the under 19 World Championships. Under 17s came second, which is pretty cool.
Ooh.
Played Jayson Tatum.
Yeah, I was going to say who were some of the boys?
Yeah, Jayson Tatum was in that.
That's a big. He's a monster.
He's a stud. Yeah,
Stud. That's the word.
Yeah,
stud.
Sure. You could tell at the time, like he had some. I don't know if we can swear, but
fucking oath, mate.
We can swear. That's it. Yeah, he had some shit to him.
Yeah, that's not a swear word.
Yeah.
Give us more than that, man. Come on.
Yeah. No, he was just like big lanky kid. Sort of hadn't really put it all together yet, but just you could tell just like the raw talent was there. Josh Jackson. There was a bunch of guys. I think it was like 7 that went pro to the NBA.
We interrupt this program to give you a little word from our sponsors, Manscaped. Thank you very much to Manscaped for sponsoring the podcast throughout Feb. You can use the word culture or the code culture at checkout for 20% off the entire store, as well as free shipping. And I'm just going to read this direct from their manuscript because it's a good expression of what we're dealing with Manscaped products. Manscaped have engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredibly comforting grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer, which is the Lawnmower 4.0, features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology, and that is trademarked. I now feel comfortable and confident shaving my boys, which is actually true. It makes shaving the nuts so much easier. So again, code CULTURE for Manscaped products. The links are in the bio, 20% off and free shipping. Back to the program. I'm assuming you said you came second. You lost to America?
Yeah, we lost.
Crazy.
Lost by 7, which is... I think the sort of the tournament before happens every 2 years. The Australian team played off in the final against the US as well. That team had Dante, Exum, and Ben Simmons.
Yeah, I was going to say, who was in the Aussie team at the time?
Exactly, and they got waxed by 40. So... we lost by 7, which is pretty cool. I was at the foul line. I reckon there was like a minute and a half. Probably not even that long. Maybe like 40 seconds to go. I just got fouled on a 3-point shot. And
4-point play or 3-point play?
No, yeah, the ball just rims out. No. And I made the shot before that, so I think I cut it back to, I don't know, might have been 5 points or something. And then I shot this next one and rimmed out, but I got fouled, go to the line, ended up missing the first 2. And then that's pretty much game over from there. But yeah, crazy experience. Like, yeah, I guess for my basketball journey, it was just like very grateful to travel the world, doing what I love doing. And
yeah, fucking oath, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, and like, I guess I went to the AIS when I was...
in Canberra?
In Canberra. So I lived up there for 2 years. So I did year 11 and 12 up there, which is just a crazy experience. I'd always wanted to do it. Like a guy that my brother grew up playing with, he had went. Yep. So probably from the time I was, 12, I'd always wanted to go. Just thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, you go and train every day. Like, how cool is that?
I feel like it's every Australian kid's dream.
Yeah.
Like,
sure.
Like making those squads, playing, traveling. Like, you're actually like, obviously you're not making money at that point, but it's like you're a pro athlete.
Yeah, no, it's just like one of the craziest experiences for sure. And I look back now, it's like a massive part of who I am. And you learn a lot of stuff moving away from home that young. Like at the time, all I wanted to do, I was like, I just want to go and do this. And then you're sort of there, and probably 6 months in, you're like, holy shit, like this is pretty fucking full on. And you're away from home, you're away from friends, family. But yeah,
are you living with the other basketball athletes, or are you just mixed in with everyone else in the AIS squads?
Yeah, so for anyone that's been there, it's basically just like they're called pods, but they're just like apartments. And there's probably like 400 rooms or something. At the time when I was there, the government sort of like moved into that like medal scheme thing where they were doing like gold medal. If you had a chance of gold medal, you'd have more athletes on scholarship or whatever. So it was like, really, there was basically like no one there. It's pretty much just the basketball, boys program and the girls program, and teams would just come in for camps and whatnot. But yeah, you live in these pods, basically 6 in an apartment complex, sort of 3 rooms on one side, 3 rooms on the other. Yeah, and you can imagine a group of like 15, 16-year-old kids living away from home, no parental guidance.
It's like permanent camp.
Yeah.
It'd be mad.
It'd be mad.
It was
mad.
So cool. Like, yeah, and then just like having a basketball court right there, we just go there like, on a Thursday night and just be there till like 2 a.m. just because.
Shooting hoops.
Yeah, I mean, Canberra is not the best of places. There's not much else to do. So just go to the court.
Porn's legal in Canberra.
We've been there. And fireworks too.
Fireworks.
Yeah, Jamie and I have been there a couple times.
For the fireworks,
Yeah.
For the fireworks,
No, we went to a junior...
We went powerlifting comps.
We went to powerlifting comps, and then Stupas and I got absolutely slammed after he won, and I vomited in the car park. That's what happened in Canberra. That was the highlight of my Canberra trip.
It's very cold as well.
It's freezing.
It's like
freezing in Canberra.
Icy cold.
Yeah. Sometimes we walk to training in the morning, see kangaroos.
Yeah.
Like literally like just there.
It's kind of nice. It is nice. I don't know if I'd live there, but it's like cool when you go there. It's nice. Like a different feel compared to Sydney or Melbourne.
Yeah. It's like a big sort of country town. It's in the middle of the bush, really.
You said it reminded you a lot of like places in America.
There's certain towns in America that are not... I'll call them towns, especially where I was in Hudson, Massachusetts. So I worked over there for a little bit. And like in cities and conglomerates, everything's like really packed and like on top of each other. But there's certain areas in America where it's a lot more like spread out and open.
Sure.
And there's no like big, huge conglomerates of like apartment blocks or anything like that. And it gave me that sense, Canberra. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, it was a crazy experience.
Yeah. When when you were on those Aussie teams, did you play with anyone in Australia that's currently there? You said Dante, Exum, and that would probably be the 2 big ones.
Yeah.
And Ben Simmons were a little bit before you.
Yeah. So they're a little bit. I was a little bit younger than those guys.
Did you meet them at any point?
Yeah. So Dante was at the AIS when I was there.
Oh, nice.
And then Ben, he went to the States a bit earlier. He did some high school stuff over there and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, my age group, a bunch of guys had some really successful college careers. Jack White went to Duke, which is pretty cool. Probably like biggest program in the country for basketball. DJ Vasiljevic was at Miami. There's like pretty much out of those 12 guys, I think just about everyone went to college. Like pretty like notable Division 1 schools, and then for some guys it didn't work out, came back, played NBL. So yeah, like a lot of those guys are on sort of different paths.
Have continued with the basketball,
yeah. It's pretty. I think most of them are still playing. I'd have to probably take a closer look.
Yeah, for sure. No, and then obviously, so you go through these processes, and you make a Boomer squad. Did you ever play for Australia?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. So I actually played pretty random. I wouldn't really call myself a true Boomer. But yeah, I obviously very humbled to have that experience. So played in two pretty funny places of all things. It was like I think it's called an Asia Cup qualifiers or whatever. So basically, you just you got to play a certain amount of pool games and then play like the I guess Asia tournament at the end, so you can qualify for the world champs. And a lot of guys, all the NBA guys couldn't go and play, and then a lot of the NBL guys were in the finals. So lucky enough that I got the call up for that, and took me to Iran. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, different
not a big basketball, I wouldn't think. Not a massive crowd there.
No, they had this one guy, Haddadi, I think. He played in the NBA for a long time. He's like 7'4". He's a huge dude, and he's just like a god over there. But yeah, probably not a political podcast, but I don't know. I think there's a few things going on in Iran. So all I remember is sort of like we get there, and we have like basically we had this ex like SAS guy who had been there, Australian dude, who had basically like scouted out everything for the like previous 4 days to make sure everything was going to go down, like everything's going to be sweet. And then we're greeted by like I guess this she worked for the Australian Embassy, I think, or something like that. And yeah, they just like went through all these rules, and like we hop on the bus. I can't really remember what was said, to be honest. Like, but I think they were just telling us like basically don't put a foot wrong kind of thing, and you'll be sweet. But we get on the bus, and like the guy's like, yeah, this SAS guy's like, so when we're on the bus, just like no one opened the blinds on the windows. He's like, we just don't want anyone to know who we are. We don't want anyone tracking us.
No one, you're Westerners.
Yeah, he's like, it's all safe. It's all good. It's like,
sure, just don't open the window.
Don't open the blinds. It's like, no one can know you're here.
Yeah. So basically, it's like, I think it's like a city of like 20 million people, and we basically ended up staying at like their version of the AIS, essentially, I think, and. Yeah, we literally saw no one apart from like when we got to the game. So I was like, I've been to Iran, but I couldn't tell you what it looks like.
Yeah, you didn't really go to Iran.
Nah,
it was just like
just saw the back of the curtains.
Yeah. And then the other game was in Kazakhstan. So
nice.
Yeah,
Borat.
Pretty crazy.
Borat.
Yeah. So
did you meet Borat?
No, I didn't meet Borat. I don't think he's loved there.
Yeah. No, he wouldn't be. That's fair.
That's
for
sure.
Yeah, but
stereotyping there.
Yeah. I think
that'll probably get cancelled at some point if it hasn't already. Yeah.
Exactly. But that was a great plane ride, just getting over there, and yeah, I think all the boys had literally just watched Borat or like had all the clips out, and it was just like everyone was just spitballing that whole time. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
How could you not?
Yeah.
And then how close was it from after that? Did you decide I'm going to go the AFL route and start? Obviously, you were playing AFL growing up as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Well, juniors, obviously, you played some footy growing up.
Multi-sport.
Yeah, so played pretty much. I tried every sport growing up. I was very lucky. Yeah, basically my parents did whatever. I guess they gave me the opportunity to do whatever I wanted to do. And they're I guess big believers in sport, and I guess the values it sort of instills in you. So yeah, grew up playing pretty much everything, but yeah, basketball, footy, and cricket were the main ones. Played them all pretty competitively up until under 16s. And then yeah, sort of when I went to the AIS, that was the decision I had to make that I've got to pick one now. But yeah, played all three growing up.
And you went to Caulfield Grammar, didn't you?
Yeah.
So you played footy for APS?
Yeah, in the APS. Yeah. So I left in year 10. So I actually went to Caulfield Grammar on a basketball scholarship.
Yeah.
Yep. So I played footy in year 9 there, and then in year 10 I played basketball. I didn't play any footy there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, Caulfield was.
And then so how'd the switch come from professional basketball? Did you get approached by someone at Collingwood? Was Collingwood the only club looking at you, or was there?
Because they've made some plays. There's been other basketballers that have transitioned across.
Yeah, for sure.
Mason Cox.
Yeah,
Big Cox.
Yeah, USA.
Big Cox.
Do you reckon we can get him listening to this?
Yeah, I reckon Coxie's pretty big on the socials. So
can we get him in here?
Can we get him in here?
Oh, I don't even reckon he would come in here. Like, no doubt.
100%. We actually want Pendles. We want to fucking hunt Pendles.
I reckon, yeah. Well, I've been in the DMs. I said like we'll get that going next year, or
Alright.
even this year. I reckon a few days off. We have Thursdays off.
Mason Cox would be a
Come
cool
and do
one.
some-
He'd have a cool
Yeah.
story as well, coming from
Yeah,
America.
fucking
Yeah,
oath,
for
man.
sure. Yeah, Pendles would like to tell you stories. Like thinks he's pretty tough, country kid.
Yeah.
Well, he was good at basketball, wasn't he, Pendles?
Yeah, he was a great basketball player. So yeah. Anytime he like does something, it's just like, or whatever, someone like thinks something hard, he just goes like, oh, "I'm from Sale, mate." Like,
Real rough kid.
They breed him different out there. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of the top professional players, like you hear a lot of them were like
Multi-sport.
He was also a gun cricketer, or
Yeah.
like if he didn't make the AFL, he would have been playing cricket for Australia and stuff like that. Like it's just
Yeah.
I think Paddy Mills was a really good footy player and then transitioned over later on. Yeah.
Have you ever met Paddy?
I have, yeah.
He's a hero.
I love
Yeah.
Paddy Mills.
He's
Love
an
Paddy
absolute
Mills.
hero.
Yeah, the Olympics was pretty cool.
yeah. Did
to
you get
watch to
around
see.
the Olympics this last year?
Yeah, it was awesome.
It was
yeah.
cool to see.
Yeah,
the
so cool.
first
So,
medal.
yeah, no, it was awesome. Like, and the old sort of senior coach, he wasn't there. He sort of finished his tenure, but Andre Lamanis, like I actually had a pretty good relationship with him, and when I played in that tournament, that was with him, and yeah, a lot of guys had a really like close relationship with him, and yeah, it'd been such a long time basically since Gazy and Shane Hill and all those guys. So
Yeah.
I think a lot of people felt like they had been a part of it in some way, which is it was just awesome. I think the whole of Australia just fell in love
Yeah.
with what they were, and particularly Paddy. I mean, his speech after the game was just like, "What are you doing with your medal?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm just going to go hang it up at mum and dad's."
I feel like Paddy
So
Mills just embodies like a good bloke.
Yeah,
He's like
for sure.
like he's someone like he carried the flag this year as well.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he's the person you want to represent
Oh,
Australia. And he's
100%.
and he's proud to like be representing Australia, and
yeah.
he's a weapon and a gun basketballer.
Oh, yeah.
Like he was so good to watch.
Yeah, and I don't really know him.
Yeah.
I met him when I think I was like 15. So
Yeah.
apart from that, yeah.
Like an oath, but you met him, man.
You met
Yeah,
him.
exactly. Made it.
Made
Paddy,
it.
if you're watching, come on the show.
Yeah, Paddy, yeah.
Come down, Paddy.
We'll start paying you finder's fees. Yeah, don't worry, mate. You'll become a staff member in no time.
Manager, the podcast manager.
Yeah, manager,
it.
talent finder. But yeah, what about that transition in that
the
period? Yeah. So did the clubs come to you, or did you speak to a manager and be like, I want to make the change over to AFL?
Yeah, so basically, I played under 16s for Vic Metro and then footy, sorry.
Yep.
And I got picked in the AIS squad for football as well. And basically sort of from there, basically up until I made the decision, probably for those like sort of 5-6 years, had clubs in contact. Basically there was like a thing where they could contract a guy or give a guy a contract who hadn't played football for 3 years or had come from like another high elite sport.
Yep.
So I felt basically like free swing for them.
Yeah, you're not part of the list or something.
No,
Is that correct?
You're part of the list, but they don't have to draft you. So it's
Yeah.
like it's for
Yes.
them. It's like
I was doing a bit of research on you
Yeah,
before you came on.
Yeah.
But it said you were drafted as a B category
B.
rookie
Yeah.
in May. So I was like, well, that's
Yeah.
not the draft period.
yeah.
So,
So it basically just means that like you're just like a free agent essentially. And it's like if they want you and they're willing to give you a contract, like you can basically go wherever you want, which is pretty cool. So I had contact with a lot of clubs. Probably for that period of time, and then had always knew like I always wanted to come back and play football at some point, and obviously I had like sort of aspirations and goals with basketball, and to be honest, I just sort of I guess basketball didn't really work out the way I had sort of envisioned that it was going to go, just had pretty rough time with it, to be honest. Like I just I wouldn't say I ever really fell out of love, but I sort of started looking at, I guess, weighing up like what my aspirations were and what my goals were with basketball. And then I sort of had a look at, what I want to achieve in footy. I guess in the end, just sort of looked at it like, all right, I can basically make a decision now to go and play footy and give it everything. I can wait another couple of years, and then if I make a decision then, like
Maybe miss the boat on both.
I was like, am I not really? So I sort of just came to the decision that I was like, you know what, I probably, and where I was at with basketball, I wasn't loving it, and I was just like, I'd rather do this now and give it everything, and then if it doesn't work out, like I'm fine with that. At least I know I like had a crack, rather than sort of just like half-assing maybe both.
For sure.
For a couple of years, and then just looking back and be like, I'm not really one to sort of look back. I've had a lot of sort of setbacks definitely more than successes. So, but yeah, I lived in Serbia for 8 months.
How's that like?
So, yeah, shit.
Really? I wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, so like,
What was shit
Yeah.
about
What was
it?
shit about Serbia?
Just the missing the cult, missing your mates and stuff.
Yeah, 19 by myself.
Can't speak the language.
Can't speak the language, and Serbia is not, necessarily a tourist country, so they don't speak much English at all. But you go 2 hours to Croatia, and there's a lot more tourists. Like they're a little bit more, I guess, aware of what's going on and stuff.
Couple great party islands in Croatia.
Yeah,
Being homesick sucks.
Yeah, so and you probably you don't even really know at 19 that you're homesick, and I think I definitely went through that, and just like obviously my parents knew, and my girlfriend and my brother, and sort of like my close friends, but you're not in denial, but you just sort of like just roll with the punches, like you're just doing stuff every day. But I just learned a lot of stuff about I guess life and business and people. Like a contract's not necessarily a contract. Like just because it's in writing doesn't mean it's what's going to be delivered. So I
can see how that would be a difficult time, and maybe it tarnished your
for sure,
your love for the game for that period or something like that.
I think when you ask, like when I was as I was so young, stuff you do take people's word. Like you don't have any reason to judge them or I guess second guess. And when someone says, this is going to be a great opportunity, like obviously you're going to look at the good side of things. I hope most people would when they're younger, and be a bit more optimistic. But yeah, basically, just was like a shit show from the second I landed. Moved into this apartment, it's like I remember just like reading the contracts, like new apartment, something like that. And it's like I moved in, and it's like wouldn't have been much bigger than this room. It's like old as, run down.
I'm picturing the hotel that they stay in the in-betweeners.
Yeah, just like stuff like that. And just like, and not that it was an issue for me to live in a place like that, but it's more just like when you have a perception of like, this is what I'm going into.
The expectations and then weren't
it's here,
reality,
That's just like, that stuff sort of like slaps you in the face. And then, basically.
Especially if you're by yourself and you don't have those people around you. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yeah, so I didn't get paid. Basically from the day I landed, I got paid basically like a year and a bit later.
Fuck.
I never got $1. And like literally there was all this stuff that went on. But like I would like text the club, be like, hey, is my money coming on account? I didn't need any money. Like obviously very thankful mum and dad, and obviously my living was being paid for. So I was basically just paying for fuel and
just
and
little
food.
Foods,
So like, definitely wasn't strapped for cash by any means, but
so you didn't move there to not get paid though. You didn't.
No, exactly. Yeah, when you like sign a contract, you never think like you're going to run into this situation when you actually not get like you say, and it's hard to describe. Like if people were in the basketball circles, they sort of understand it, but it's like if it's like when I would explain it to people, like say like, yeah, I'm being paid. They're just like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like what do you mean you haven't? I was just like, well, it's kind of just the way it works over here. Like,
but also that's probably a very Australian mindset. Because most people here, we sign up for a job, you sign a contract, you get paid. Like it's what happens. It doesn't really happen here in Australia. But obviously,
and like, Serbia's obviously had the civil war.
Yeah.
Not long ago. Like when you think about having a war, sort of 30 years ago. Like, I don't know how old you guys are, but like
not 30 yet, mate. Don't worry about that.
Exactly.
Getting there, Jamie. Getting there.
We don't talk about it. Late 20s, maybe mid 20s. Yeah.
29. Would have been when we were born. 92.
Yeah, so
that's
like,
actually crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess still like war torn in a sense, and the economy is probably like I don't know really much about the politics of it all, but basically just never ended up getting paid, and then basically to avoid a lawsuit. They just ended up like dumping a bunch of cash to my agent.
Said see you later.
Yeah, and that was about it. And like I don't know, it's for them, it's a business, and I'll send you guys this article. Like it's probably one of the most crazy clubs in Europe.
Send it to us before we upload it on Thursday, and we'll put it in the
what club was it?
Partizan. Belgrade. So
do you want to start beef with them? Because we can shout them out here. If you
probably
want.
not, man. No, yeah, they actually.
We won't tag them.
The soccer club is crazy, and basically, I've been to this stadium, and they literally got busted. Like, there's like the biggest drug ring.
All right, we're not starting beef with them.
Yeah,
we'll leave that.
Like some crazy stuff has gone on, and I was living there. Like, it wasn't uncommon for guys to get someone run up on the street with a gun after a game and stuff like that. Like,
that.
Never happened to me, thankfully, but So it was just like and for all that to happen when you're 19,
very impressionable years.
Yeah, you just sort of like, and yeah, I guess like that's part of the reason why I did sort of feel the way I did about basketball. And I think sort of looking back on that experience and going through it all, like for them it's a business and it's just like another person and they'll just roll on. But sometimes I do reflect. I'm like, that was my life.
Yeah,
like I actually did live that experience, and unfortunately for me, it was the way I was. But I hopefully most people sort of see it in me. But I try to look at it and say, like, I'm thankful that I learnt those lessons. Probably as brutal as they were when I was 19, and not when I'm 28. And probably a little bit further down the line with life. I had the time to adapt, and very thankful. I got really great support, amazing family, amazing girlfriend, and some of my best friends that just like, probably just made those times for me. It wasn't until I reflected probably like a couple of years down the line, I'm like, shit, so lucky I had those people. Because at the time I couldn't really realize how hard it was. So that, massive part of that for me. And like as I'm getting older, like just realize how much friends and family and all that support means to me.
All that value. Yeah. It's good that you got through it and you had those support networks, because I'd imagine that it can be pretty easy, and it's probably like, we've probably all heard stories. People those sort of ages find themselves in tough situations, especially if money's a problem. You don't want to speak to your family about it all of a sudden. Yeah. So it is probably a good thing that you've gone through it and learned it and can reflect on in a positive way now.
Yeah, for sure.
And ultimately it allowed you to make these decisions where you end up now, where you're playing AFL, man.
That's it. Yeah. So sort of in my 3.5 year with Collingwood. So it's obviously been pretty crazy with COVID and all of that. Spent a year in the hub, which was another crazy experience.
Yeah, how was that?
How was the hub?
Yeah, it was interesting. Like, I think it was hard, I guess, with perspective, like for us, like for you guys, shut down your business, stay at home, like don't go out, and we're in the Sunshine Coast going to the beach every day.
I know.
We knew, don't worry.
I was, because I'm pretty like follow St Kilda pretty passionately, and they're up in Noosa, and I'm like, these guys, playing footy, going to the beach. I'm like, that's the life. We were miserable here.
Exactly. And I was extremely fortunate that the club and I guess the AFL, like my partner came up, Amy, she came up for a couple months, and we lived together. But at the same time, when you're literally living with your colleagues, it's just, I don't know, it's just probably just not the right environment. And obviously with perspective in mind and what everyone was going through in Melbourne and across Australia, like we were just so lucky to still be getting paid and doing what we're doing, but it's just, I think a lot of guys came away from that experience probably just like feeling that burnout.
It's not what you signed up for. At the end of the day, like COVID affected everyone. Yeah. And people could easily see and go, they're professional players, like they're getting paid whatever big bucks and stuff. But it's not what you signed up for. You signed up to play footy here in Melbourne, in your hometown and stuff. So it's a challenge for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
But glad it's done now, and you can hopefully this year can just be a normal year here.
Exactly. So last year was probably obviously sort of like the first sort of real step that I took in my football journey, which was awesome. Played my first game.
Got your debut.
Up in Sydney, which is so cool. And I sort of touched on before, like family is really important to me. My family came up. Jarrad came up.
We'll talk about Jarrad, don't worry.
Yeah, so great man. It's like everyone was there, which is just, pretty cool experience. It was a long time coming for me. And then, ended up playing 4 games last year and learned a lot. Yeah, massive learning experience. It's a different beast. Like playing in the AFL is like those guys, like it's the best athletes we have in Australia. It was just like pretty surreal, to be honest.
Was it difficult for you to strap your boots back on after a few years of just focusing on basketball? Were the skills all there, or I would imagine a natural athlete, it probably wasn't too difficult. But
no, to be honest, man, like I was, it did take a while to come back. Like definitely took longer than I thought it was, for sure. But I think probably just let me sort of, or it probably just gave me that respect and I guess knowledge of how hard you do have to work, no matter what discipline you're doing, to be at the top. It takes a lot of persistence and day in and day out. I think it's probably a good lesson to learn. It's like you can't just pick something up and be like, I'm just going to go do this and be good at it. You have to put the time in and showing my colours here as a fan of the show, but I think Jamie did say to do mad shit. You have to do mad shit.
You have to, yeah.
So
You're definitely a fan of the show. Fucking hell.
You're in it.
yeah.
So simple.
He was shattered.
So true.
Jamie Buzz. Obviously, you guys have sent some DMs to each other or whatever. Buzz currently has some fucking cult fans. He's getting.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on,
Bit of a
but
celebrity at the moment.
But
yeah.
you were messaging him and we're like, fuck it, get Tommy on the pod. So we sent you the messages. He was shattered that he couldn't be here today, man. Yeah.
He did send me a message before, so
We'll have to roll around a second one.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But let's go. So Jarrad was my old roommate, who's also
Yep.
your like off-season S&C coach. But
Yeah.
he's on the he's
On the
watching.
FaceTime.
Donnie's
There
just
he
put
is.
him on a FaceTime. That's too funny.
You let him know I just gave him a shout out.
Yeah.
That's his show.
Shout out on your own bloody show, mate.
Taking your spot
That's
today.
it.
Yeah. We've found a new host. Don't worry, mate. Hey, fuck you, mate.
Got to squeeze it.
Yeah, squeeze it. So Jarrad K, who we're actually got coming on in 2 weeks' time. And again, part of this transition for us in the podcast, we want to move into a little bit more just general sport and pro athletes and all that sort of stuff. So Jarrad is obviously a great connection to have because he knows a lot of you guys and he has come up or helped build up a lot of junior athletes in their time. When did you start coaching with Jarrad?
Yeah, a big coming up to probably 10 years almost now.
Yeah. So when you were a real junior.
Yeah, yep.
Yep.
So yeah, just sort of messaged me out of the blue.
And you came through the Woodford ranks.
I did come through Woodford.
Yeah.
So just sort of I got a Facebook message one day and he just said, "Hey man, we'd love to do some stuff with you." I was obviously a novice in the gym, didn't know anything about it. I'm still pretty sort of slender now. But yeah, you can imagine me as a kid. I was pretty skinny. There wasn't much of me. So yeah. And then basically, I don't know, I've done how many sessions with him over these 10 years. But yeah.
I still remember I was living with him at the time when because it came out that you'd made the Boomers squad or something. And it was a very quick, or maybe, I don't know, I can't remember. Maybe it was when you got picked up by Collingwood. There was a moment there where I was like, wasn't he just playing basketball?
Yeah, it was quick.
And now and I was like, what's going on? And he was just fucking amped. He's like, let's go. He's going to, like, it was a massive moment. He was so amped for you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, talking about support, like he's been there every step of the way.
He's a weapon.
Pretty cool. Like, probably shouldn't disclose it for his business sake, but he's never charged me once.
Really? That doesn't surprise me.
Never a dollar out of my pocket.
I know the dividends of helping a lot of you young guys out is coming back to him now.
Yeah, it is, which is awesome. And
when you look at the names he had this off season and the pro sessions and I can't wait to get him on here and discuss it all because and this is where we can start to chat about like American sport and that culture and it's so fucking cool to see all you guys like literally training together in the off season. Like who did he? I don't know if you probably can't even say half the names he had this off season, but
Pendles, Tay Adams, Andy McGrath, Geordie Ridley, Harry Mackay,
the Mackay boys,
so many guys,
the King brothers.
On top of he built his own stable of guys. Obviously the King brothers, Andy McGrath, Tim Torano. They were all from same thing as me.
names
15.
Too,
I remember there was one draft
players.
season where he had like 3 in the top 10 and it was crazy.
Yeah, I think he's just obviously you live with him and probably different when you live with him, but he's just a guy you want to be around.
Yeah, he's a weapon. He's so much fun.
We've had a lot of fun with Jarrad.
Yeah, exactly. So and like one thing for me, he did my brother's ACL rehab and like I've always recommended him to people and aside from the training, like you'll get out of it what you want, like what you put into it is what you're going to get out. There's only so much a coach can do for you, but if you do a session with him, you'll walk out like no matter what you've done in that day, you'll walk out like smiling, feeling good about yourself. Like he's just that kind of guy.
He's a weapon.
He's just and like that's some reflecting I've done on that with him. Like he's one of my best friends now. It's what happens, I guess, when you spend 10 years with someone. But and like he's doing his own thing now, which is so cool to see. Start his own stuff. He's just building. Yeah,
so let's go to the American sport then, because I know I had to ask closely off air, but you're involved with this app in American sport, which is, I know you guys probably don't know too much about it. I know a little bit of it. So there's a guy called Jamie Sackville who Jarrad was helping, and he was a punter.
Yep.
I was assuming he would have been an Australian footballer, and then he decided to go the punting route over in the college.
Yep. So Caulfield boy, played at the Ajax, played footy at the Ajax growing up. And then funnily enough, when I went to college for basketball, went to SMU in Dallas, Texas. Extremely like wealthy school. I think it's like the suburb the school's in is like the third or fourth most affluent suburb in the whole United States.
Wowza.
So it's like a
That's
lot
money over there too.
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Like oil money, just like crazy. And basically the school
Would be unreal then.
Yeah,
because they would just get so many donations.
Yeah,
They would just get
there's an ESPN 30 for 30
on the school
called the Pony Express. And basically I was like in like the 80s. They were just paying guys a shit ton of cash, and they got
real cowboys.
Obviously, back then you couldn't pay players.
Even still now you can't pay them.
Yeah, and it was called the death penalty, and basically just like ruined the program. For 20 years. But yeah, so that's where I went to college, and it was fortunate. Me and Jamie went to school together. We're really close, basically best mates, and he moved over there, did his punting gig, and then probably like I want to say 2018. Just like we would call, frequently, just mates or whatever. When I was living in Sydney and he was still in Dallas, and he hit me up one day. He's like, "Hey man, got this idea." I was like, "Oh yeah, cool. What is it?" And he's always been one of these guys like
he was studying commerce or something, wasn't he? Business.
Yeah. He was always going to be like one of these dudes. It was like he's just like driven to be successful.
Yeah.
And he goes, "I've got this idea. It's basically like a cross between like Tinder and LinkedIn for college recruiting." He's like, basically like you'll have a profile exact same as Tinder. If a coach likes what they see, he's like swipe. I don't know which way you swipe, but
link
whichever way is a match. You guys match, and then basically have a chat function. And he's like, it's going to change college recruiting, and I guess
it is.
The NCAA is $1 billion business, so it's crazy, unbelievable idea. It's taking a lot of time, a lot of hard work, and I know it's pretty cool seeing like a kid you grew up with like go out to America of all places, like the biggest, I guess, sort of spot in the world for this kind of stuff, and just be like, I'm going to start a tech company and like do it all off my own bat. And I still have chats with him now. I'm just like, I just can't believe you're doing this shit.
It's amazing. And I've obviously heard some of the numbers being thrown at him to purchase it and all these sort of things, but it's really cool to see. And I think what's the actual app called?
It's called Air, Athletes in Recruitment. It's just, I mean, for people that know anything about sort of the college recruiting, it's just like the biggest like light bulb idea ever. It's like, how has someone not already thought of this and put it out there? Basically, like if you play soccer, whatever, unless you're like a stud and highly recruited, because we are so far away in Australia, especially, it can be tough for kids to get recruited. So a lot of the times they're paying a recruiting service, $5,000-$10,000 to say like, hey. And basically all these guys are doing anyway is like sending 50 emails out to different schools, and like, they get a couple back and they'll be like, we got you this offer, whatever. Basically with the app, you jump on, no subscription.
You control your own sort of.
Yeah. So basically you're in front, like all the colleges are on there. So, I think he's got some phrase, I don't know, but he's like, it works exactly the same as a dating app. He's like, goes both ways. He's like, you can't just like a girl's profile or whatever, and you can go out with that girl.
You have to put the time in. And
So it's unreal. It's getting some serious traction, which is pretty cool.
And you're involved in it in what capacity?
So basically I invested. I was the first investor actually.
Fucking hell.
Which is pretty cool. Pretty humbling experience. Actually, just like when he told me, I was initially kind of like, I never wanted him to think that I was trying to like gain off of him, and then. But really thankful like the way he took it. He's like, man, I'm so honoured that you want to be a part of like what I want to do. And I've done a little bit of stuff with the basketball side, and definitely starting to sort of dip my toes into the business side of it now, which is pretty cool. So sat in some pretty high level meetings where I don't know what the hell's
out of
going
your
on.
depth. Fucking hell.
There's a few phrases getting around. I'm just like sitting there like
in the notes section. Google that later.
I'm just like, I know a lot of them are just sitting there like, what's this blonde guy doing? Just sitting here.
I'm a stud athlete, multi-sport athlete.
Yeah. And then, but man, to his credit, like he's just, like you hear him speak about it, like he's talking to billionaires. And these guys are fucking grilling him, man. Like they're going after him.
And at the end of the day, he's just a young kid as well with a fucking great idea, and also operating it at a level that it gets this attention.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking cool.
Yeah, and these guys are going in on him, and he just stands there. Straight bat, just like straight back at him. He's like, "No, this is my business. What I'm doing." He's like, doesn't take no for an answer, which you obviously got to be that way if you're trying to do what he's doing.
Yeah, it's cool. We're doing a couple of national tours this year. We're going to Queensland, a couple of little national content tours because it's something that we want to make a viable long term. We're going to Queensland. We're going to New South Wales, Sydney with Charlie in May, Queensland coming up in March. If we ever get to America though, Jamie Sackville is on the list. I want him on the potty.
I believe he is coming back.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe he is coming back at some stage this year.
Can you help us out? I'll get again finder's fee. I'll pay you.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I don't think you wouldn't have to pay Sackers. He'll pay you guys to be on.
All right, crazy, crazy.
He does like to. Because
again, it's just cool. It's just cool.
Talk.
Loves to talk. Yeah. Crazy. That's unreal. Yeah. Well, it'd be cool to see how that goes moving forward and where it all ends up.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, it's going to be. Yeah, I guess it's going to be a pretty big journey. So it's literally just starting. I think we've got 130,000 users now, and we're only in American football currently. So there's 34 college sports. So some expansion to go on this year.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
nice.
it's going to be pretty awesome.
Are you heading back over there at all?
I'd love to go back.
You got the footy season starting up, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm planning to go over there and actually do some stuff with him at the end of the year. Yep. Which should be cool.
Take Jarrad with you.
Yeah. Jarrad's. Don't worry, he's worded me up about that. So yeah. I think Sackers has got something planned for him, so it'd be nice. Yeah, much the same with Jamie. Jarrad obviously trained him and looked after him really well.
Yeah, fucking No, it's such a cool story. I love it, and I love when Jarrad gives me a couple more little tidbits for it and just adds layers to it. I'm like, this is fucking sick. It's so cool to see. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. Yeah. But we've obviously got the season coming up. How are you feeling? How's your footy going? How's your off season been looking?
Yeah, feeling really good. You sort of just now I'm sort of basically as I said before, coming into my. Yeah, I joined sort of halfway through 2019, so my third year, I guess, coming up. Just like learning a lot more every year, especially the off season, like how much the off season sets you up for the season. Such a brutal sport. You got to be so aerobically fit, so strong. So it's just you just got to be like this. It's almost unrealistic to think that you can be this blend of two different like polar opposites. But that's where we've got to be, and that's what the game demands. I'm feeling really good. I feel like I sort of am starting to get a pulse on what I need to do in the off season and how I need to structure that to sort of set myself up. Obviously, Jarrad's been a massive part of that, he's sort of been learning and growing with me and figuring out sort of what things work. And then obviously kind of lucky with forming a pretty close relationship with Pendles now and. There's probably no better person than him to sort of learn off.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. Was that an organic thing, or was that something? Because I know that some clubs like to pair you up with a more senior player who's got similar sort of background, and I'd imagine with the basketball and multi-sport and all that sort of stuff. Or was that just an organic thing that Pendle sort of? Yeah,
pretty organic. I mean, as I said before, I was always pretty keen to get other people to come on board with Jarrad. I was just a massive fan of what he does, and I thought there's definite. Scope for what he does in our game. And obviously looking at America, what guys are doing. Because you as much as it's an amazing opportunity to be a part of an AFL club, you don't want to be there year round. You do need a break because it demands a lot of you. Being able to go to a place like Jarrad's and train is just, I think, great for, obviously you're getting better and you're sort of like nourishing your body, but it just gives you that mental break. And so it's pretty organic. I just asked Pendles to come down. He was like, yep, sweet. Like he loves training. He used to train with a guy, I think his name's Marty, out west. He had a gym out west. I don't think he's running anymore, but apparently it's a bit of sort of like a West Side barbell sort of setup.
I think I know that. ESS, I think it was called.
Elite.
Yeah, I actually do know it.
He'd been a big fan of him and whatever, and just came down. I think after the first week, he's like, man, I love him. As I said before, everyone wants to be around Jarrad, so just sort of ended up happening. But everything's been flipped upside down this year at Collingwood. We got new coaching staff, new high performance, so everything's brand new, which has been awesome.
Out.
Yeah, which has been awesome to be a part of and.
Fresh start.
Yeah, and I've loved the culture sort of the club sort of since the day I got there. But as you start to build relationships with people and stuff like that, it's pretty cool coming into a place where you've got some really close mates and you're going to work every day and man, we run out outside, especially particularly in off season or in pre-season, like we're outside in the sun kicking a footy around, and then we come inside and lift weights. Like it's a pretty good gig. So yeah, it's been a really good environment. New coach. It's just been almost a lot of back to basics sort of stuff. Which has been awesome. Like we got a really young list now, which is completely different to when I started. Like we had a lot of guys who had just come off the 2018 grand final. And there was a lot of guys on the list still that played in the 2010 grand final. So a lot of guys that just knew what they had to do and knew what I guess it was going to take to perform at their best. And now it's basically the complete opposite. We've got a lot of younger guys who are trying to figure out their way and learn, okay, like what does it take to be an AFL footballer? And probably more importantly, it's like, what does it take for me? And that's probably the biggest thing. I'm sort of, as I'm going, like I'm learning more and more. It's more about finding the things that work for you and less about, I think that's what I've tried to do is like take things from different people and, all right, something that's working for someone might not work for you, that's pretty common practice for life, I would have thought. So, feeling pretty good. Biggest thing I think with footy is just got to be, feeling good and hopefully injury free at the right time. You get your opportunity, you got to make it stick. I definitely think, you obviously need some luck along the way, but you put in the work, you start to gain confidence in what you've done.
I was going to ask, do you reckon that with the new coach coming in this year, that the opportunities for you will open up and hopefully you can get a bit more of a consistent game each week? Or?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely hoping so. We sort of have just sort of started to do some match sim stuff, which is cool. And I guess with that being said, I actually, had a really good relationship with Bucks, particularly towards the end, and I felt like I definitely had sort of won him over as a player, which is pretty cool because it was a sort of a long transition period for me. So, definitely took some great stuff from him and I guess some learnings for my game and some growth areas that he thought I could get better and trying to implement them now. And then obviously with a whole new coaching staff, it's like anyone getting a new boss or whatever, you start square one and just trying to, I guess, show the coach now like what my strengths are and what I can bring to the table and that's all you can really do at the end of the day. Like as I said before, you've got given a certain skill set and you just got to try and maximize what you have. So feeling pretty good.
Nice.
It's been a long break. Like I don't know, I think our last game was August. So
no finals.
Long time. Long time.
You said before that you're working on some qualities. There were some weaknesses that you're working on. What's the stuff that you have been focusing on this preseason to get you, up to
for
the
sure.
best you can be?
I think for me, like the weight room was a big one.
I was going to say, what do you weigh?
Yeah, I'm like about 86.
And how tall?
So I'm not huge. I'm about 6'4".
Yeah.
Nice. So I'm not huge, but like probably, I'm definitely not one of the big boys. Like I'm not a key position sort of player. Play a bit more on the wing, half back. Definitely sort of like my aerobic capacity is probably one of my strengths, and then probably just like my skill. I spent a lot of time because last year I did some work with amazing dietitian or nutritionist Michelle Reeves. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's unreal. Did basically like an 8-week or 12-week sort of program with her, and she's incredible. Like she's just like by far the best I've ever dealt with. She was awesome. I came back pre-season like 89 because at the time they were still sort of flirting with the idea of me playing a bit of like key position stuff, but it's pretty, for the footy fans out there, it's pretty tough to be like in between playing on the wing and being a key position player. Like it doesn't really link up. So it's hard to sort of be like, well, I need to be able to be strong enough to like battle with these guys, but I also still need to be fit enough to sort of like run. So, sort of just moved in a direction where I'm now just like, I'm definitely by far the strongest I've ever been, but I'm down probably 3 kilos. And it's just like product of probably like for me, I'm not someone that naturally is like very strong. But like the last probably it's just been as Jarrad would say to you, like over the last sort of 5 years, just like finally building myself into, I guess, a really sort of well-rounded athlete. Which has been a pretty cool journey to be a part of, and like, I've grown this like love for the gym
Yeah,
I
fucking
think
oath.
what everyone gets that bug where you start to see things happening for you, and you just
The progress. Once the progress starts trickling in, you feel the momentum. It all builds. Yeah. If you start feeling better about yourself, it's a massive.
Yeah.
So
what are some of the numbers you've been throwing around? With
Fuck. No, I don't know if I want to say on this podcast.
Come on, hit us with one. Trap bar deadlift or something.
Trap bar deadlift. I haven't done a max trap bar deadlift. My hip range is no good, so I'm normally
off blocks.
If I did want to, I'd be off a block.
No more excuses. Numbers. We want numbers. Objective.
Numbers.
I want on the pump here. So I reckon if I had to go for,
you could lie here and we'd have no idea.
Probably go like a 240 for trap bar deadlift.
That's crazy.
I reckon I could get for a 1. And then bench, my best is 112.5 at the moment. So, and then what else is it? I can't squat. My hips are fucked.
Yeah, well, you don't need
They'll
to.
be the main 2 ones that you push for strength.
Yeah, so for them, but
what's your favorite exercise?
Curls.
Curls.
Yeah.
There we go, man. And you want to do your upper body stuff with us next year. Or not with us, alongside Jarrad, but come down. We want you guys in here, man.
Get the mirrors.
Well, the way we sort of structured it this year, we sort of went Monday, we basically trained Monday through Friday. Monday was lower body, Tuesday upper body, Wednesday lower body, Thursday upper body. So Tuesdays, Thursdays, that was kind of our go. And Jarrad just like played around with a whole bunch of stuff. Like, obviously like upper body strength's pretty, you can be pretty flexible.
There's heaps of stuff.
So much stuff you can do. So that was pretty cool to like play around with it and do some program. We did some, I'm not sure what you guys call it, this one. Getting the feet up.
Hook line.
That was dope. You get a mad burn doing that. I'll bring that in the club. A few boys see me. I
was going to say, let them know.
It's like, fucking oath.
Tell us where you got it from. Tell them where you got it from.
A few boys say it, I'm just like, you don't know about this. It's like, it's pretty high end stuff.
Tell them. No, it'd be unreal. I reckon, we'd love to have you in next off season.
Yeah,
come down. Obviously, shit talk primary is our number one goal with most of our things. So I think you'll fit in just fine.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially if old Jay comes along for the ride too.
Yeah. No, I mean, we get like pretty much like one day off during the week anyway. So I think we'll start filtering in.
I got to start paying you those finder's fees too. So don't worry, mate.
If you can deliver.
And we'll get you on the Hectic Eats. We'll take you for a feed somewhere.
Yeah. Where's next?
We did Magic Pizza, which went up today, which I'd highly recommend checking out. Next is Industria.
We're doing steaks.
That's
bigger. Industria. So one of my good mates, he's my brother's close mate, but now mate of mine as well, owns a place just here, and it's a really cool industrial style. Like they deal with the industrial people. But it's a really cool takeaway shop. But they've just nailed it.
They've just nailed it. They've nailed their schnitty sandwiches.
Mad schnitzels. It just perfect. So obviously go in there, speak to Nico. Nico sorts us out anyway. Usually hooks us up with a few free donuts. It'd actually be a really good post-gym feed. But what I would say is the reason we haven't done the steak sandwich yet is because we didn't want to go in there rough and rusty. We've got to blow the cobwebs out with these places that we know the owners. We can sort of be ourselves a little bit easier before we go and hit like the steak sandwich or Marco Schnitzel. Have you been to Marco's? Maybe we'll bring you to Marco's. Marco's is my personal favourite. And then once we hit the local areas,
we start travelling. And you guys better start bloody paying us to come because that's how we're going to be moving.
Set up a GoFundMe.
Go eat me somewhere. Go feed me. Go feed me.
Go fund me.
Go feed me.
I reckon we get a few donations.
Where's your favourite eating spot? If you,
I got a few.
Are you more of a high end, dirty feed? What are you looking at? I don't know if you can answer this the way you want to.
No, I can. There's a great chicken schnitzel. You guys would have heard Hector's Deli.
Hector's, someone told us to go and do that. Yeah.
That's pretty fucking crazy. That's an experience. So there's one in South Melbourne now. It's a little bit closer.
Hector's, you hear that?
There's another one called Hugo's Deli too.
Hugo's.
We'll do
come do a Hectic Eats.
Bunch of joints. But Hampton Street in a pickle.
Like
real old school, like almost like cricket lunch type setup.
I'm getting hungry now.
They get some mad. Yeah, they got a what is it? Like a roast beef with like like that yellow pickle spread. I don't know if you guys
I do know exactly what that is. Yeah.
They do some crazy sandwiches. So in a pickle, for sure. You got to get
shout out.
Yeah, Hampton Street.
Local too. Hampton Street's pretty.
Maybe we
Jamie and I actually grew up, and our first PT job was on Hampton Street.
Really?
Yeah.
Which spot?
Sweatmaster Health and Fitness.
Yeah,
it's a very like group fitness class based thing. A lot of spin bikes and all that. We used to do fucking boxing classes and shit. Charlie loved it.
You know what? Looking back, similar to your experience in Serbia, back, it's like it's made us who we are.
Charlie's comparing being a PT.
Let me just make sure we
paid in Serbia.
We were getting paid. We were getting paid.
We were getting paid. But
nothing
like you
that.
said before, obviously wasn't the best. But it's part of what's made you the person you are today. So
That's it.
Obviously at the time, like we didn't want to be doing group classes and stuff, but you did group classes. We all done it.
We all started there.
It was necessary.
You got to eat shit
It's
first.
part of the job.
That's it.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
Now
we're doing hectic eats.
we're doing hectic, and now we're literally eating
It's
fucking good stuff.
crazy.
All right, Hector's Deli and In a Pickle in Hampton Street.
Yeah.
What about high end? If you had to go like a high end, like a dinner date, like Valentine's Day was
yeah.
yesterday. What did you do?
We did. Me and my girlfriend. Our anniversary is on the 1st of March.
Yeah.
So
we save it.
Yeah, we did long distance for a long time. She went actually over to college as well.
Nice.
Played some ball over there, which is pretty cool.
Basketball?
Yeah, basketball. So, we've never really done Valentine's Day. We've always sort of just done like our anniversary, but we're going to Entrecôte this week.
Entrecôte,
Cool.
very nice.
Yeah, so
Great spot.
yeah, that's a good joint.
That's a great spot.
I don't know. There's a few like I love Japanese. I don't know if you guys been in Y14 in Sandringham.
Nah.
Really good Japanese joint.
Alright.
Yeah,
Check it out.
yeah, that's pretty.
I need
mad.
some new ones because I feel like
Yeah.
we've
Koi.
regurgitated the
Koi
same
on Bentley.
handful of
Center
restaurants.
Road Bentley is real cheap Japanese,
Koi.
but it's unreal.
Yeah,
It's like it
think
shouldn't
we've
be as good as it
We
is.
went to one.
We've eaten.
Yeah, a kami if you want all you can eat and feel sick at the end of it.
Yeah.
But what is it? Y48. I'll check.
Y14. Yeah,
Y14.
It's
I'll
pretty-
check it
like
out.
I mean, it's pretty expensive for sure, but
That's all right.
I can't remember the guy used to have a really famous Japanese spot in St Kilda, I believe. And he moved out of there, and it's now God knows why he picked Sandy.
There's
but
so
he's-
many restaurants.
Yeah, it's coming. The suburbs are filling up. It's actually unreal.
The last night, like high-end one that I would have was Tonka in Flinders Lane. It was Adam De Silva,
Yeah,
which was really nice.
Yeah.
But I've still got a massive list of restaurants I want to hit.
yeah.
But
We'll
just
tick them
can't.
off.
It
Let's
never
get
ends,
let's
does
get going.
We got to do a.
Yeah.
I don't know if we could take the camera to a high-end.
Oh,
place,
we'll
though.
work it out. We just got to get one. We just got to.
Great. Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
We'll
I was going to say once we start getting hopefully one, maybe 2,000 viewers per episode, I reckon we could go to somewhere and be like, hey, we do a fun food review.
Food bloggers.
Yeah, can we? We'll obviously pay for the meal. Can we just come and do this
A
in
few
your
less-
quiet
A
time?
few less swear
Shut
words.
it down.
Yeah.
I reckon.
Down
I
for
reckon
us and
we
we'll
could
come
get
in.
it.
Yeah, shut
Probably
it down.
the coolest place I've ever eaten. My girlfriend's college was in New York.
I love New York.
In Brooklyn.
I love it.
Yeah, Brooklyn Heights. And there's this place called just like basically it's like mom and pop pizza joint. It's called Lucali's.
Lucali's.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
what be on the American tour.
crazy joint.
Do you know? Do you know Dave Portnoy?
No,
That's
I
in his
don't-
top 4.
Oh,
There you
Top
man.
4. He's done like 600 pizza reviews, and it's in his top 4.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And like, you go on his Instagram, it's like him hanging out, David Beckham, Kanye West.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Who's who have like been there, eaten there. So yeah,
That's
me and
crazy.
my girlfriend went there. That was pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
I
literally.
love New York. I
Yeah.
wish all this fucking COVID shit hasn't happened in the
Yeah.
last couple of years.
Oh,
I would
man.
have spent another good chunk of time over
Yeah.
there. I love
Well,
it.
This guy's spot. You have to go at 3 p.m. and line up just to put your name down so you can get a time to come back later.
And pick it up.
Yeah, you can't just walk in.
Made it.
Fucking
I really
wild.
want to go. I haven't been to America.
Yeah.
I would
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to go. Just got to fit it in some point.
Yeah.
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 Melbourne strength culture.
2023 tour.
Yeah.
Get us
Cool.
over to
Bro,
America.
we can definitely go. It's all this COVID shit. Like it's
Yeah.
Get us over to America.
100% we
That'll
could,
work.
man.
We've got to make it back. That's all.
No, yeah, no, like we could
I think it's
definitely
all right
we could
now.
definitely make it viable from a business perspective to get there and do something. Like we can find a strategy, but
Let's make it happen.
it's incredibly difficult at this
Go
point
fund
in
me.
time. Yeah,
Go
go
fund me. That's what I said
go-
before.
culture.
I reckon we're at a point, man.
go
We
get me the
1,000
fuck to New York City. I love it there.
I reckon you'd be surprised how many people would just drop a $5 and go
man.
fund me, and you get it adds up.
Before you know it, we're flying to America.
Flying to America.
Jamie Sackville, fund us.
Yeah. Maybe we will.
Sponsor our
Yeah.
tour.
Yeah.
We'll get a sponsorship,
Right there.
100%. We'll
Yeah.
put him on this. We'll put him right here.
As long as we get to America, that's all we need.
We just need we just need something over there to make it a tax deduction, and then we're fine. We'll be right.
Well, Jamie, I've given you heaps of PR, free PR.
Free
today,
PR
so-
today, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
But we
Thank
will,
you
if
for
he's
watching.
ever back in Melbourne, yeah, I'll speak to Jarrad or obviously yourself or just reach out to him.
Yeah, we'll get him on.
I think I've
Sure.
actually had beers with him once.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably.
in the- yeah.
Yeah, he gets around.
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. That was a really fun one. Thank you very much for sharing
thanks
your
for having me,
story. I don't know. We normally, because from a business perspective, we tell people, "Oh, what have you got coming up?" or
Yeah.
"Where can people find you?" But it's just Weetbix. What
Yeah.
is that? Weetbix Kid Wilson.
Yeah, no, it's not a very good story. So my name is Tom Wilson. Very popular name, or like it's just a name.
It's
that
like
lot
You're
of
telling
Smith.
me,
Yeah.
James Smith.
So basically, like I was in like year maybe 8 or 9, like early days Instagram, and basically like my schoolmates were just all mucking around with our handles and whatever, and like a few guys, like one guy was like Cat in the Hat Binds, and like just all these like
Just made up
random names, and I did
dumb ones.
Weetbix Kid Wilson, and when I went to change it back, couldn't do it without like 15 underscores and like a few different numbers in there, and yeah,
that's
so
all right.
just ended up sticking. And yeah, it is pretty funny. Like sometimes people come up to me, oh, Weetbix, because no one really calls me Weetbix. Like it's not really like my nickname or anything around my mates. So yeah, that is.
Well, it's your nickname here now, Weetbix.
Yeah,
we'll write it with you.
That's it. Yeah, Sanitarium. If you're out there,
yeah, sponsor.
Yeah.
Great story. Real aligns well with like the up and coming junior sport, like getting
They're
around
big.
family values,
100%.
mate. 100%. I see it.
I swear, Weetbix ads were always like that. Like
Yeah, that was sporty,
Playing, young
outdoors,
kids playing cricket and stuff.
family, fun,
Tom,
holidays.
how many do you do?
Oh, Weetbix, man. I wouldn't have
Man,
any
4. I can only do
Yeah, I used to do
Mate, you're
4.
about to get sponsored. You need
Yeah.
it. Come on.
Okay, rewind. How many do you do?
18.
Oh, at least 9
At least 9 daily
with a banana.
with a banana. Easy.
What they used to do the ads with like Brett Lee.
Yeah.
8, 11.
It's like 24. It's like what? Whole box.
If you tried to eat a wheat
Pour me.
bix,
Yeah.
it takes so long to eat one.
Yeah.
I
I
used
reckon
to
they're
outrageous.
different now, man. I reckon they've definitely got that sugar in there now.
Yeah.
They're just
You
doing
reckon?
it. Yeah, they're doing a few things with Weetbix these
some
days.
cheeky-
Only good
They're not-
things, though.
yeah.
Only good things.
They're not as bland as what they used to be. That's for sure. Yeah. Me growing
Some
up.
funny things to the wheat bix.
Yeah. Oh man.
Love it. Sanitarium, reach out to Weetbix
That's
Kid
it.
Wilson.
I reckon that's a massive like one of my favorite podcasts. They're always just like, if they ever want to get someone on, and like obviously it's someone they're not going to get on, but they say come on the show, and they just put it out there.
We do that.
So-
Don't worry.
yeah, so
we
good.
love that.
I
I think
so good.
Well,
Yeah.
that's it. Scott Pendlebury.
Scott Pendlebury
Yeah.
would be
Tell
one
us
of the
if you're watching,
if you could
come on
word
the
us
show.
out, Scotty P.
Is he gonna?
Yeah.
Is he,
I told him I was coming today. He's gave
Will
me
he
that, like,
listen?
yeah, his pricked up. And
All
he's
right.
like, oh, shit.
okay.
So you going to lift? I was like, maybe.
will he listen to this one with you on?
He probably give me 2 minutes.
Come on. Hopefully it's the good 2 minutes of this Weetbix chat.
The
Scott,
last 2 minutes.
like real like fucking larrikinism.
Yeah.
Crazy. Well, we'll leave it there.
Thanks so much.
Thank you
for having me
very
on.
much.
Thanks
Yeah.
for coming, mate.
Good luck with the year.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Huge fan of what you guys are doing. It's awesome. Like,
Thank you.
yeah, bringing a community of people together. It's pretty cool. So
Thanks, man. We
Thanks for having
appreciate
me
it.
on.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
See you, mate.
Ciao. We'll see you next week.